So let's skip the intro and go straight to my passive skill tree. I went for the attack speed and physical attack damage. Then I went for armor evasion and life, most of the arena, bravery and art of the gladiator. I went for destroyer, split ring strikes, Yule socket here, increase my physical damage, my area damage, and if I could I would have some attack speed as well. I have Golem's blood, I have executioner and wrecking bell. And I also have cloak and chain. I have iron reflexes, which converts all of my evasion rating to armor, but you don't need this one if you have pure armor gear on you. You don't need this one. You can just drop this one and this socket here and use it on something else. Moving on, I went up here. I have another Euro socket here, which are Wallows Reach, which are really good Euro for build like this, and you will get this one through a quest reward in Act 2 in Merciless, when you find in the golden hand. I think it was Merciless at least. I have Berserking. I have this huge life wheel here, Constitution and Path to Warrior. I have Warrior's Blood, Life and Armor, these Life and Armors here in the Marauder area. I have Heart of the Warrior, Born to Fight, Butchery, and By the Blade. And I also have these attack speed notes here for Sword and Axes. I have Diamond Skin, Armor Mastery, and I have Jaggernaut, another Yule socket here. Increases my physical damage with 200 melee weapons, attack speed with access, and some melee damage. And I have Slaughter and Cleaving. I also have Barbarism. And I have Resolute Technique, so I can't miss enemies. They can't evade my attack, I can't crit, but they can't evade my attack, so I have 100% chance to hit the enemies in my path, which are really nice. So let's take a look at my Ascendancy skill tree. I start by taking Endless Hunger. When I ascended the second time, I took Brutal Faber, then I took Bane of Legends, and then Hedgeman. If you have any questions about the skill tree, feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's take a look at my items. Let's start with my weapon. I'm using a 6-linked Azir's Disfavor, which are really expensive. You can see it on screen right now. And you don't need to use Azir's Disfavor. It's the best axe for this build, but you can use a rare axe instead, which have as high physical damage and attack speed as you can afford and get. For my helmet, I am using a rare helmet with good defense, good life, and the resistance I need. For my amulet, I'm using a Duresus Salute, which are quite expensive, but you can use a rare amulet instead, which have as high life and the resistance you need. And if you can, some flat physical damage. For my rings, just some defensive rings, life, resistance, on both of them, and if you can, try to get some flat physical damage. For my armor, I'm using Calm's Heart, which are really good for this build, but it's quite expensive, and you can use a rare armor instead. And you can have another 6-link setup in your armor if you want. But if you're gonna try to get a rare armor, try to get an armor which have as high armor and life as you can get, and maybe the resistance you need. For my gloves, again, just some defensive gloves, life and resistance, and a good armor. For belt, I'm just using a rustic stash, again, life and resistance. And if you can, try to get it as a rustic stash, you get some damage as well. Same thing with the boots, again, defensive, as much life and resistance, and try to get as good movement speed roll as you can. Mine have the maxed out 30%. And for my flask, I'm just using one Azir's Promise, really cheap flask to get, really powerful. And then I have some internal flasks, which have some decent life recovery, and removes potion for some reason. And I have running 2 Quicksilver flasks so I can move even faster when I'm using my Cyclone. So let's take a look at my skill gems and support gems. My main damage setup are Cyclone, together with melee physical damage, added fire damage, fortify, faster attacks, and blood magic. If you only have a 5-link setup, you're just going to drop faster attacks. I'm using Cosmic Damage Taken, together with Blade Vortex, Wallow's Mark, and I'm using Blind. I'm using Vengeance, just Vengeance, and do some damage here and there. I'm using some auras and mana reserves, and it is Hatred and Hell of Ash. I'm also using Arctic Armor, which I plan to use the recipe on, so it increases my movement speed. It also shields enemy when you're spinning around, but you will not receive the protection when you're moving. And for movement, I'm using Leap Slam, and I'm also using Blood Rage, and they are both supported by Blood Magic, and Leaf Slam are supported by faster attacks. If you have any questions about my skill gems, feel free to ask me in the comments. And finally, for the bandits, I helped and killed. In normal, I helped Oak to get life. In Cruel, I helped Kratin to get attack speed. And in Merciless, I just killed all of them and took the passive skill point. So, let's see this character in action, and thank you all for watching, and if you have any questions, please let me know.